Hey guys, so like I said last time, I'm gonna be shifting my focus of this channel a little bit because Digimon news has kind of died down a little bit. I'm still gonna get to the movies that I haven't done yet, but I'm gonna be doing Super Sentai now. And for those of you that don't know what Sentai is, that's what this video is kind of for. I'm gonna try to make like a little bit of a intro lead-in thing, and how Sentai's linked to Power Rangers and why we got the Power Rangers that we did and stuff. Blah, blah, blah. So, uh, for those of you that don't know, Super Sentai is the show that we get our Power Ranger footage from, as in I guess you could say Power Rangers is an American adaptation of Super Sentai. But Sentai's been going on a lot longer than Power Rangers has been. The original season started in 1975. It was called uh, Himsitsu Sentai Go Ranger, or Secret Squadron 5 Ranger, however it's its translated name. Um, it was season 1 way back then, and it's been going on for, they're currently on season 36. 37 if you want to count that Akiba Ranger, which technically isn't like an official season, but the actual 37 season, which I believe it's pronounced Go Ryuger or Koi Ryuger or something. I don't know, I'm probably mispronouncing that wrong. Uh, that'll be happening sometime next year. So yeah, Go Ranger was the first one back in the mid-70s, and its Sentai's been going ever since then until now. So, where does Power Rangers fit in all this? Well, I believe it was season number 5, which was called Taiyu Sentai Sunbraken, or Solar Squadron Sun Vulcan, which was, like I said, the 5th season. I believe it was the first season filed to become the first Power Ranger season, but for some reason it didn't fall through. There's nothing saying why. And then a couple years later we had season 8, which how do you pronounce that? Chodenshin Bioman. Bio, which translates to Super Electronic Bioman. And it was supposed to be the first season implemented into Power Rangers, and for some reason it didn't fall through either. So then we go a good ways down the road to season 15, which was Kojin Sentai Jetman, which actually did fall through to become the first season to be turned into Power Rangers, but due to the current dinosaur craze that was going on over here in America thanks to Jurassic Park, they decided to adapt the season after Jetman, which was Koyu Sentai Zoo Ranger, or Dinosaur Squadron Beast Ranger, into the first season of Power Rangers. So which is season 16 in Sentai, which is season 1, well, 2 and 3 also of Power Rangers here in America. And then that went through, and then every season from Zoo Ranger all the way to, well, Shinkenger, and then Ghost Ager's adaptation, Megaforce, is about to begin here sometime in 2013, I believe. Well, kind of all of them have been adapted since then. There were 2 seasons there that were kind of somewhat toyed with, because Zoo Ranger was 50 episodes long, and after that they moved on. But over here they wanted to keep the market of the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers going without changing anything up too much. So they made original footage with the Zoo Ranger suits, and used mecha scenes and villains from the next 2 seasons to cover season 2 and 3. The season after Zoo Ranger was called Kosei Sentai Dai Ranger, which stands for 5-Star Squadron Dai Ranger. We never got those suits here in America except for the White Ranger, which was the 6th Ranger of the group, the Kiba Ranger. Or Tiger Ranger, I believe is what that translates into. And that was the Ranger that Tommy took over as when the Green Ranger thing disappeared. And then they added Lord Zed, which was an American-only villain. So season 2 was basically Zoo Ranger suits with one Dai Ranger suit fighting Dai Ranger enemies in Dai Ranger mechs using an original man-made enemy with Zoo Ranger Goonies behind him. Okay. The Thunder Zords were called the Daikin Beasts in Dai Ranger. And then season 3, we had the Shogun Megazords, and then the Alien Rangers. That was taken from the season after Dai Ranger, which was Ninja Sentai Kaku Ranger. And the Alien Rangers were basically the Kaku Ranger. Simple as that. Why did they make them aliens exactly? I have no idea, to be honest with you. I don't know why they chose the Kaku Ranger for that, because they're ninjas. I don't know, to an extent, maybe, I don't know, I think the O-Rangers would have made more sense as aliens. O-Ranger being the season that was Power Rangers Zeo, with the probably my least favorite helmet designs of all time. So yeah, Zeo was an adaptation of, I'm looking up here, Chokri Sentai O-Ranger, or Superpower Squadron O-Ranger. And then it just kind of went from there. I'm just going to give you the translation of each season. Power Rangers Turbo was, this is going to be fun me trying to pronounce this, Gekiso Sentai Car Ranger, or Racing Squadron Car Ranger. This one's weird because Turbo was a serious season, but Car Ranger was a comedy parody of Sentai, so the adaptation really didn't work well. And then Power Rangers in Space, Denji Sentai Mega Ranger, Electromagnetic Squadron Mega Ranger, and then Lost Galaxy, which a lot of people really don't like how they adapted. Senju Sentai Gingaman, or Starbeast Squadron Gingaman. A lot of people don't like how they translated, or how they adapted Gingaman into Lost Galaxy. And then Lightspeed Rescue was QQ Sentai Go-Go 5, or Rescue Squadron Go-Go 5. Nice little quirk about this one is that Mr. Titanium Ranger here was exclusive to Power Rangers. Go-Go 5 had just the 5. There was no extra Ranger in this. I think it was the first season since Jetman not to have an extra Ranger. Well, I guess some people say that the Black Knight from Ginga Ranger, what the freak am I talking about? Gingaman wasn't really a member of Gingaman, so, but he's the first American-made Ranger, and for Go-Go 5's logo, they use the V for, like, the Roman numeral V for 5. Look at his mask. I thought that was clever. It took me a long time to figure that out because, I just now found out about it until a while ago. Well, I just now started caring. And then, Mare Sentai Time Ranger, Future Squadron Time Ranger. I think it's pretty obvious which one that is. Wild Force was an adaptation of, oh, this is going to be fun for me to pronounce this, Hyakuju Sentai Gal Ranger, 100 Beast Squadron Gal Ranger. Why am I doing this? I think it's kind of fun to pronounce these Japanese names. Nimpu Sentai Hurricaneer, or Stealth Wind Squadron Hurricaneer. That's Ninja Storm. This is actually kind of fun, me pronouncing these. And Dino Thunder was Bakru Sentai Abaranger, or Blastosaur Blast Dragon Squadron Rampage Ranger. I actually kind of like that name. That translated name actually sounds kind of cool. And then SPD was Tosuku Sentai Deca Ranger, or Special Investigation Squadron Deca Ranger. SPD stands for Special Police Deca Ranger, not Space Patrol Delta, because they're not the B Squad in that season like they are in SPD. Maho Sentai Magi Ranger, or Magic Squadron Magi Ranger. That one's pretty straightforward. Cool thing about Go-Go 5 and Magi Rangers are all family. Not those two groups are family, but the Go-Go 5 are all siblings, and then the Magi Ranger is a family also. That's something different. And then the terribly done Operation Overdrive was Go-Go Sentai Bokenger, or Rumbling Squadron Bokenger, which I heard is a billion times better than Operation Overdrive, which I don't know if that's saying much. Yukin Sentai Geki Ranger, Beast Fist Squadron Geki Ranger, which is Jungle Fury. And from what little I've watched of Jungle Fury, it's pretty dang terrible also, but I want to watch Geki Ranger because it looks good. RPM was Engine Sentai Go Onger, which I'm currently watching right now. And if you've seen RPM, you know how dark and serious it is. I haven't seen RPM yet, but Go Onger is actually kind of lax. Like, it's really goofy. Well, it's kind of light-hearted for a Sentai season. And then Samurai Sentai Shinkenger, which is this season that just ended here in America, Power Rangers Samurai. And then the season that we're about to get, which is Power Rangers Megaforce, is actually Tenso Sentai Go Sager, Heavenly Armament Squadron? That's Heavily Armament Squadron 5-Starger. Oh, Go Say Sentai Dairanger 5-Star Squadron Dairanger 5 Go Sager 5-Starger. I just now noticed that. I didn't notice that until just now. That's kind of funny. So yeah, that was a complete waste of time. So I'm gonna be reviewing these next. Probably I'm gonna start with them in chronological order of, well, how they've done and when I've watched them. So that means I'll be starting with Jetman next first, and then I'll go from there and then review them as I finish them or whatnot, and then I'll put some Digimon stuff in between. Yeah, these reviews probably aren't going to be as in detail as my Digimon ones. I'm not nearly familiar with the stories and everything as I am with the Digimon ones, but just bear with me. I'll make it work. Oh yeah. So Jetto Man.